There are many emergency podcasts in the Scary Alvarez universe, but I think given certain events over the past 7 months or so regarding the University Xavier Lucas and the University of Miami, this one is more than justified. And here we go. So, unless you were extremely offline up in a cabin somewhere with middling Wi-Fi like Ryan Herring, sometimes you have no doubt heard that the University of Wisconsin and the Wisconsin Collective have sued the University of Miami Hurricanes in circuit court, Wisconsin, for tortious interference relating to ex-Badger Xavier Lucas and the things that Miami did through boosters and otherwise to basically brazenly wrestle a player that had just signed a couple of contracts with Wisconsin, one of the best young players on the Badgers roster, to convince this kid to head down to Coral Gables. For those of you who don't speak legal, and that's most of us, tortious interference, you can interchangeably use the word tampering in the context of this case. Okay. But the bottom line is Wisconsin had 1+ contracts, one pending, one actually signed, relating to Lucas's NIL with the Badgers. And roundabout winter break in December of 2024, something or things happened where the young man had a change of heart about his future despite signing these 2 contracts with Wisconsin, one with the Collective, and said, I'm going to hightail it down to Miami. Wisconsin wasn't a big fan of that, as you can imagine. Ink was barely dry on the deals that he had just signed. He was a big part of their future as well. But look, I know enough about this athletic department, McIntosh, Fickle, to know that if this were simply a case where a kid just for whatever reason wasn't feeling it at Wisconsin and wanted to enter the transfer portal and move on, they might not like it, but they're going to accept it. There are 50+ instances, many of whom are players of outstanding stature, like a really good slot receiver who transferred to Notre Dame recently, where Wisconsin just, hey, sucks it didn't work out, pack your bags, good luck. Need me for a reference, let me know. Lucas was different. And it's not just because he was good. He did get significant playing time as a true freshman. He was a 4-star cornerback recruit, which is not super common for Wisconsin. But it was different in the sense that Wisconsin knew something was wrong based upon the attitude that kid had with the Badgers, his future with them, how things were looking great, how quickly that turned heel. And then you have yappity-yak mouthpieces like Darren Heitner, a Miami booster who's making statements on behalf of Lucas that you just knew if you followed the cord back, it was going to lead back to the University of Miami. You know they were orchestrating this, whether it's a combination of boosters, the athletic department, the coaching staff. I don't know the allocation of blame here, but the ultimate responsibility is you can tell who sued. Miami got sued by Wisconsin. This is a big frickin' deal, not only in the context of this particular case and what it could mean as far as damages. You're not going to get Lucas back. Okay, that's obviously, everyone knows that. But you can get some money, and that money can go right into the Collective. You can help it fund NIL for more things. But more specifically, this is a precedent case, and the Big Ten is standing in lockstep with the Wisconsin Badgers in this situation. They've already issued a statement saying as much. That when you have a player who is signed to one or more contracts, this is not just, I want to go here, I want to stay here. These are legally binding contracts. And another school, through its various tendrils, pries that kid away from a contract illegally and unethically, like the Miami Hurricanes are alleged to have done. Read, they certainly did it. This is we're not going to put up with this crap anymore, and that's what this means. So, I feel like some people are saying, "Oh, this is going to hurt Wisconsin in recruiting." Blah blah blah. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the players that Fickle and his crew are recruiting and have recruited already have signed a team, already have in the pipeline, who've already committed. I don't think they're going to see this and say, "Oh man, if I go to Wisconsin, they're going to sue every time. So if I don't like it there and I want to transfer." That's not the case. They're going to say, "Hey, if I come to Wisconsin, I'm one of their dudes. They're going to fight because I'm a Badger." I mean, I just don't see negatives for this for Wisconsin. I mean, there's going to always be people. Of course, the Miami Hurricanes fan base are going to be vehemently coming after Wisconsin for this. There's no question. They're a bunch of 89 IQ loudmouths. Okay, I mean, I don't want to be. That sounds mean. Is there a Miami Hurricane fan that has an IQ above 100? Yes, I believe that to be the case. But the average Miami Hurricane fan, they're not winning the Mensa convention. And unfortunately, there's not an IQ test for signing up on social media platforms. So we're going to be hearing a lot from these gumbos. But like, I am pumped about this. This is not something I would seek out. This is not something I like. But I love the fact that Wisconsin is willing to fight, and they're willing to say no more of this bullshit. This is ridiculous. And as I said earlier, this is not something where Wisconsin is saying you can't enter the portal if you go to Wisconsin, or you will not go after portal guys. Wisconsin has plenty of portal guys going both ways. Okay. So again, as I noted earlier, that has to be a very, very strong sign that something is so effed up about Miami's conduct in this case that Wisconsin feels very confident shining a light on what has happened, having depositions with some of these Miami witnesses to find out just how bad this tampering is. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm not a legal expert, but I know a little bit about human nature. Miami might enter or make statements today saying we are eager to fight and vindicate our name and the common BS like that. There is not one person associated with the Miami Athletic Department that wants to be under oath about what happened with Xavier Lucas. I'm just telling you, it's going to be an ugly scene. And Wisconsin almost certainly, well, they may not have every bit of evidence their case will eventually present, they have enough evidence to know they got Miami over a barrel now. There is no question. You are not going to stake your reputation of your university, your football program, and in some sense your conference on something that's petty or trifling. Wisconsin knows they have Miami by the throat. And I have no doubt in my mind right now, there's no way this is going to trial. Miami is going to quietly, after making their statements, in sometime in the next few months, they're going to settle this. And Wisconsin is going to have a wonderful new deposit into their large bank accounts. Counterpoint, Miami wants to fight this. It's worth going to trial over because we want to be able to tamper without any sort of with any sort of consequences. I guess there is a possibility they could want to go to trial. But if that's what you are trying to argue, okay, and you're willing to have your reputation and all of these things the bad things that you did put out into the public light, I say bring it on, man. Let's do this. And if a court eventually decides, by the way, a Wisconsin court eventually decides in favor of the Miami Hurricanes, we will deal with that as it comes up. But right now, my blood's flowing. I am super pumped about Wisconsin not letting Miami kick sand in its face, not letting Miami shove them in a locker. And they're saying, you are not going to come into to our house and take one of our players and do this BS. Not going to happen, guys. Sorry. Go sniff around someone else. Go sniff around Clemson. Go sniff around one of those second-tier ACC conference teams. You don't come to the Big Ten into Camp Randall Stadium and try to poach one of our guys. So there will be much more on this. I just wanted an initial salvo. And by the way, to all of the Miami fans and boosters who dropped into my mentions when this was kind of a bigger thing back in January and February, tell me nothing would ever happen for this. Wisconsin's going to get walked over. There's no case here. Y'all can eat a big, hairy, steaming bag of shit right now because your program is about to get exposed on the national level. And you know what? As my meme that I posted just now on Twitter said, it's the classic, but boy, it applies here with great force. F around and find out. And y'all are about to. Scary Alvarez is out.